having the kinds of morning that lasts all afternoon, just stuck inside the gloom. 4 more exits to my apartment, but I am tempted to keep the car and drive and leave it all behind. 'Cause I wonder sometimes about the outcome of a this life. Am I living it right? Am I living it right? Am I living it right? Why, Georgia, why?
Alright, so this is the whole first section to Why Georgia by John Mayer. And I'm going to kind of try to cover this in sort of a linear fashion. We'll just go through all the riffs in order. And then at the end I'm going to do a slow recap and just kind of sing and play along. And we'll just play real slow, and that'll be a really useful section of the video for you after you learn all the different sections, because it'll give you a chance to piece everything together and even try singing it on your own after you learn the riff well enough. One of the things to kind of keep in mind is that our plucking hand is going to be really busy. For one, you're going to need to have some finger picking experience probably to try this. So if you don't have any finger picking experience, this might not be the video for you. It's a fairly advanced or higher intermediate style of playing. And one final note is that in your plucking hand, you're going to want to hang on to your pick while you're playing. And this is actually kind of a tough technique to master, because you want to hold your pick in a way that you can kind of play all the strings. You can move your fingers a little bit, but yet you're holding your pick. Now I've found a pocket that I like to keep my pick just right there, and in the pocket here between my middle finger, like the lowest digit of my middle finger and kind of the top of my hand there. And that's actually a trick magicians use to hold like coins and stuff and make their hand look relaxed while they're doing magic tricks and stuff. So anyway, that's where I hold my pick when I'm doing this, and you can experiment with other ways if you want. Try to find a way that works best for you. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. What you're going to want to do is start on just a simple G chord, sort of a simplified version of a G chord actually. You're going to just take your middle finger, place it on the 3rd fret of the low E, and your ring finger you're going to place on the 3rd fret of the B string. Now to start this riff off, you're going to pluck with your thumb, and your middle finger and your ring finger are going to pluck the G and B. Alright, so that's middle finger and ring finger plucking the G and B. So we've got. Now after that chord's ringing out, what you're going to want to do is hammer your index finger down onto the 2nd fret of the G string. So that sounds like. So try that a couple times. Okay, one more. Okay, so after you play that, what you're going to want to do is percussively tap your hand back down onto the strings. And you want to set back down so that your middle finger and your ring finger are still available to pluck that G and B string again. So, and then after you do that, you take your index finger back off of that 2nd fret of the G string, and you're just going to pluck the G and the B again. So it should sound like this all together. So try that a couple times. One more. Okay, so after you do that, your thumb is then going to pluck the A string. Now this is going to create kind of an interesting little transitional point because it's kind of hard to get that rhythm right on that A string. It kind of happens quick there. And this also creates some time for you to switch to the next chord, which is going to be a C shape, but played in third position. So your index finger would cover 3rd fret here, middle finger is on 4th fret of the D, and your ring finger is on 5th fret of the A. You don't actually need your first finger on though, but it's reminiscent of that C shape if you kind of take a look at that. So what you're going to do is you're just going to pluck with your thumb and your index finger on the A and D. So try all of that together. We've got, try one more of those, I'll play it a little slower. One more time. One more time. So as you can see, that open A kind of provides you with a little time to kind of start moving to that C-shaped D chord. Okay, so what happens right after that, we just plucked the A and D with our thumb and our index finger. We're going to use our middle finger to pluck that G string, which should be open. So try that a couple times. Okay, so right after that, you're going to do another percussive tap, but this time you're going to do a little arpeggio. You're still holding this chord with your fretting hand over here. You're going to do a little arpeggio that starts with A string with your thumb, D string with your index finger, and then G with your middle finger. So that all together should sound like this. So notice we've got that percussive tap happening a couple times so far. Right there. And right there before the arpeggio. So try all that just one more time. In case you didn't notice, just right after your arpeggio, you just go back to the first riff again. So this happens 4 times at the very beginning of the song. We play through that riff 4 times, and then he'll continue on playing that riff while he's singing. So let's do all that. 1 time. 2 times, 3rd time, and this is the 4th time, now singing. I am driving 85 in the kind of morning that lasts all afternoon. So right there on afternoon, I'm playing a slightly different riff. Now, this is something I heard on the studio recording that you don't see a whole lot of other people teach this way or play this way on YouTube or some other videos. But this is a little riff that comes out of this C-shaped D chord that sets you up for the second movement of the verse, which is going to be a whole new chord. So here's that riff. It just goes thumb and index as usual, but then your middle and your ring finger pluck the G and B open. And when you're playing this in quick motion, you can't really hear that. It's not super defined, but it's there. So you got that thumb and index. Then you've got that middle finger and ring finger plucking the G and B. Followed by a percussive tap. So you got. Now here's where I like to bounce my thumb down one more time to the open D. So now after you play that riff, you you can kind of let off now with your left hand or your fretting hand and move your ring finger to the 3rd fret of the B string. So it's going to look like this. And you kind of move down. Now your thumb plucks the D now. And then again your middle finger, ring finger pluck that G and B. And you should get that chord voicing. So we've got... Okay, and that sets us up for the second movement. But let's hear what that sounds like, just transitioning from the verse section into that little transitional chord we just learned. So it should all sound like this. So try that one more time. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the second movement of the verse here.